It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
He destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left the I just left the light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
You hear what I said?
Yes, bitch, I heard you. I'm pretending like I didn't.
Yeah, well. Gotta get a piece of mind. A little like magic. Said it feels like magic.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Your feet. He looked down, seen her feet. The nigga went berserk. Killed the monkey. Threw the bat out the window. Start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously, in no time, switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously. Can you?
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it. Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else else admit to us that you're not a man. You're a worm. You're afraid of us. You're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we have. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of Revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. I'm not going to starve to death.
Dance with me. Dance with me. Dance.
All in your business.
Hold up. You don't know nothing about that shit, bitch.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky? You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Don't know me, want it. Nigga.
mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's his daddy.
Come with baggage, just not ask Louis what's on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
I think we OD'd.
Those lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
For my word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the dude. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce. I hit.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us done sold our soul. We just called it something else.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, that's my cue to come on in and say greetings to everyone. Yeah, I got that midnight hour voice going. Let's clear some energies for y'all and for me without trying to catch the damn house on fire. There we go. Yeah, clean some of these energies out. I had to get some incense too. I keep forgetting to get them. And I gotta find my sweetgrass. I have sweetgrass somewhere in here. That's what I was trying to get. Yeah. Bathe me in that wood, baby. Bathe me in that wood. Like I was reading a fable and it was talking about, the trees was able to turn into people. And, in the Papa Evolve, they talk about, where at one point, what is their names? Dig these names. See if I can find the names. But the creators created some people made out of trees. That's why we got several books that talk about, or several movies that talk about moving, living trees. The first one probably everybody saw was The Wizard of Oz, where the trees could talk and throw apples at you. And then we have Lord of the Rings, where the trees could actually move. And so they talk about how the trees, were like the guardians, and the trees could turn into people, but they was these giant ass people. And then they were done with their work. This is it. Yeah. Then when they were done with their work, they would go back to the trees. I'll just trying to find these names. Yes, it says, then comes the naming of those who are the midmost seers, the grandmother of day, grandmother of light, as the maker, molder called them. These are the names: Zapaka and Zakakane. Hurricane is American South or American Mayan word. It's a Mayan word. Yeah, it's not giving me all the names. I have to put it out. But so those kind of things existed one time. Well, I saw that PJ Allen was here. And just remember, PJ Allen.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
And Joey will just remember.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
And we got Mark Very.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
And Vanetta, glad to see you.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Jamar 3224, thank you for coming.
You can't get too close to Michael. You can't get too close to Michael.
Trying something. Is that everybody? Thank you for joining. What's fucking wrong with it?
You can't get too close to Michael.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that again. I don't know. I think it's all right.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
All right. There we go. The first thing I want to talk about is this. There's been a lot of rumors speculating, but I'm gonna put those rumors to bed because this is the official word right here. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Over here. This would be the first thing I want to talk about is NBA basketball. And it says the Lakers are beginning to make moves and make their assignments to the end of the bench players to the South Bay Lakers. And the ones that are going to the South Bay Lakers are, as you can see, Jalen Hood Schifano, Maxwell Lewis, Quincy Oliveira, and Amaral Tarami. They say how Hood Shimamo was ruled out of Lakers games against the Suns, against the Sacramento because sick. Lewis in the second season after being drafted got plenty of reps last season with the South Bay Lakers. Olivari and Torre are two-way contracts, so they're going to see regular assignments in the G League. Already made headlines during preseason for his inspired play. The Lakers' third two-way player, Christian Kakos, has not yet been cleared by the NBA fitness to play. Overall picked by Toronto in 22, only played one season before his discovered he had blood clot issues. But the headline is, when the Lakers announced the South Bay roster, there was one name noticeably absent, Bronny James. When the Lakers selected James, it was assumed he was going to get plenty of reps in the G League. And this week, the Lakers' plans for Bronny G League was revealed. Bronny would travel with the Lakers during the upcoming 5 games, then join the South Bay regular season begins number 8 and first game number 9th. So his name's not on the roster, but this is what they said the plan was. So, but yet you see up here, his name is not on the roster to go there. So, it says he made, so it's right here. It's kind of, he would travel and then, but it says his name was not put on the G League roster, nor is he a two-way player. So it looks like Bronny might not be going down at all, but we'll see as the team gets in it. Well, you know why I come on late tonight. You know I have to put in that work. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did it. And let me get the overalls. All right. What was it? Where am I? Okay. All right. So again, I did have a very inspiring week. I end up going 10-5 before the game tomorrow. I lost the Vikings game. I won the Eagles. I lost the Ravens. I lost the Bucks. I won the Cards. I won the Packers. I won the Lions. I lost the Jets. They've lost 5 in a row. I won the Titans, won the Chargers, won the Bills, won the Broncos, won the Commanders with a bullshit catch, and I won the Chiefs games, and I lost the Cowboys. So I end up 10-5, and for the year that would put me before tomorrow game. For the year that would put me at 78 and 42, right? 41. Yeah. 36. Yeah. Yeah, 41. So right now for the year, I'm 70. Before tomorrow, I am 78 and 41 for the year. So, not too bad. The Vikings won. I saw because of the Matt Stafford thing, with the golf thing, that just made sense that they was going to lose. Ravens, I did not see coming. I was surprised that the Falcons won. I was very surprised. Cousins had a good game. I wasn't surprised with the Cardinals and the Dolphins. I knew with Tua just coming back that he wasn't going to be too outstanding. The Lions, not surprised that the Lions put it on them. Jets and Pats, I was surprised that the Pats won. I was surprised. Colts, Texans, I had been rolling with the Colts all year, but I knew the Texans been playing really good, especially at home. The Chargers and the Saints are going in different directions. I knew the Bills would get the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks have lost 3 in a row at this point. I knew the Broncos would beat the Panthers. Commanders got lucky. The Commanders really got lucky to win their game, and I'll show that bullshit video. The Cowboys, I had hope for the Cowboys. I really did have hope, but the Cowboys don't have hope for themselves. So, like one thing I'm gonna learn that we learn about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones is they're Jerry's toy. At this point, you got to say they're his toy. Jerry likes to say he has the most expensive quarterback in the league. Tony Romo, remember, despite not winning anything, Tony Romo, before he got hurt, he was the highest paid quarterback. And that's what Jerry Jones wants. He wants the highest paid quarterback. At least he can brag, well, I got the highest paid quarterback. But what have you won? What have you won? We look at you. Since the Cowboys, what have you won? Let's see here. Yeah, what does he want? He hasn't won anything. He hasn't won anything yet. All right. So, he likes to brag about that, but he's really, really not thinking. Oh, okay. He's really not effective. He's really, he's not an effective leader. He's not an effective general manager. Why didn't he pay Henry money? He had the money to pay Henry. He had the cap space, but didn't pay him. And you see the suffering now from him not paying him. So, wouldn't nobody else give Dak? Exactly. Nobody else would give Dak that kind of money. And let me see. Yeah, I'll keep this. Well, I can talk about this first. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. All right, in the morbid news. Oh, this might be a little old for y'all, but in the morbid news, switching over to the morbid news. I don't know if y'all know who this cat is. This cat, I don't know if y'all saw the Warriors. I went to the movies to see the Warriors. 70, what is it? Playing 79 Cold Classic? No. This movie did not. Let's see. Let's double check. The Warriors came out. I was a little boy. It didn't come out in 79. It didn't come out when I was a senior. What year did the movie The Warriors come out? Oh, see, it says released on DVD. But this movie came out before 79. I was a little boy when this movie came out. It didn't come out my senior year. This movie had to come out when I was in 5th, 6th grade, which would put it 73, 74. But anyway, he was 75. He was always like, when he got busted, he was always in the TV crime shows, the dude who got busted. But he played the Warriors. The Warriors come out and play. You know, that Warriors. Can you dig it? He was diagnosed with cancer, his daughter. So he was 75. Having accumulated more than 50 on-screen credits since 76. He's known for portraying gang member Cochise in the Warriors that ends up in a battle when they're framed for murder of a rival gang leader. Although the film was met with negative reviews at the time, the Warriors continue to be box office success and has since been praised by fans and critics alike. Currently adapting a film into a stage musical and released concept album last week. Little run, it was good and go. Nobody would ever talk about it, said Harris of an interview. I was in Hong Kong. I was in the Philippines. I was in Tokyo. I've done a lot of movies. I got off the plane and people go, hey, it's the guy from the Warriors. Born in 49, New York. For making his debut in Judge Horton and the Scottsboro Boys. I don't know if you guys know about the Scottsboro Boys. Harris also films as Brubaker, Quicksilver, Fatal Beauty, as well as episodes of MacGyver, Hill Street, The Equalizer. So he was kind of an extra, or he played a bad guy. So David Harris, who played the Warriors. I wonder if that's a sacrifice for the Warriors. So we'll see when the season comes if that's a sacrifice for him. I don't know who this is. Legendary singer Barbara Dane, after receiving medical aid in dying. So this chick had help dying, but she was 97. She's like, fuck it, I'm too old. Legendary singer, after receiving medical aid and dying. What state is that legal? Singer Barbara Dane, known for her iconic performances with the likes of Louis Armstrong, Earl Fatha Hines, Muddy Waters, and Lightning Hopkins. She was 97. She passed away on the 20th with her family and friends after a long battle with heart failure. She received medical aid in dying. Wow, in San Francisco. Well, let's see. So she got somebody to kill her. The singer's cause of death in a statement. Barbara, she's born 27, performances at labor meetings and community events. What's her hit song? Let's see if she's got a hit song. By 3 music-inclined children, folk singer Jess Kahn, rock musician Pablo Martinez, and vocalist Nina Martinez, as well as grandson Ashuma. Wow. Additionally, music, Barbara's known for dedication causes to her heart, blah, 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 blah. Okay, she never had a hit. So she was just a side showman. So that's why she lived so long. Okay. Well, we're sorry to hear that they took you out, Barbara. Well, you took yourself out. She didn't have to need no help. They took herself out. Wow. Oh, damn. Okay, I didn't hear about this. South Florida's men's basketball coach, Amir Abdul-Rahim, dies at 43. He is about to enter his second year with the Bulls, reportedly battling undisclosed illness. Damn. Community members, former KC basketball coach. He coached Kansas State. Wow. Wow. So I guess we got to get it here. Let's see. Oh, it's about to enter his second year. Undisclosed illness. 34-year-old's younger brother of NBA star Shareem Brown, one of 12 siblings, he was seen as a rising talent in college basketball coaching. I knew that last name. He's probably died due to complications while undergoing medical treatment at Tampa Bay Hospital. But damn, what kind of medical treatment killed him? Throughout my time working with Coach, I was continually inspired. His relationship and students' influence on our student athletes. University community live forever. I wonder if it says Bulls. I wonder if it's Chicago Bulls sacrifice. But his brother did play pro. Impact, the U.S. earning unanimous AAC Coach of the Year honors last year. Bulls finished 25-8, clinched the conference regular season title, won an NIT game, and achieved the program's first ever AP Top 25 ranking. All right. Leaves a lasting impact on the community. We are supporting those closest to him, including his family, team, and athletic staff, to deal with this tremendous loss. You never probably their parents. That's his older brother. And that's his beautiful family. Well, we feel bad for y'all, man. We feel bad. We really do. Sorry that, that happened. Pretty young. Marathon Man, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
So that's too bad. We sorry to hear that something happened to a brother like that. Ooh, I guess they are. New York home enclave hits the market. Okay, it looks like, from what I can see, the Morbid News. Oscar-nominated master of his craft. He's brought to our favorite. What's this? Who's this cat? Who is this cat? He was 77 years old. Brought to life our favorite films. The Oscar-nominated cinematographer Dick Polk, named for bringing out some of the best views. But the sound, blah, blah. What movies? Give me movies. Oh, he's cinematographer. So what movies did he do? Same breath as, come on, I don't see any movies. That's why Genius, he was nominated. He was first nominated. Hollywood, The Way of the Gun, Who Would Go on to Hell, Mission Impossible, Blockbuster. Okay. I don't really tell what movies he's part of. Director of Me Lies Gifted Cinematography, but okay, let's see. What movies? I don't see any movies he had to deal with, okay. Yeah, we don't know nothing about him. I don't see what movies he was part of. Yeah, so hell, I didn't even see his damn, what is his name? So he had undergone major heart surgery before a highly anticipated drama film, which has already received a premiere in Toronto. Wow. I want to mention this before I forget it. I'm gonna go see this movie called The Covenant, and it's about the Catholic Church, the Pope and the cardinals and all that. But I read a book called God's Bankers that it touched on like the characters that if you saw Godfather 3, it touched on those characters. But it touched on, really how the Catholic Church got their rise and how they got so much money. And the Catholic Church, I think, is the second biggest land owners. And again, their money is non-taxed in Italy. They're their own state. And, they have all the secret artifacts that's ever been discovered. The Nazis was going after them. But the ones that the Nazis retrieved, they got theirs. So, so I'm going to see that because I think it's a continuation of that book I read, and that book is really deep. Because the reason why the Pope at the time backed the Nazis was because the Nazis were Catholics, for one thing. If y'all didn't know that, the Hitler and them mugs was Catholics. But the other thing was, most of communism are atheists. And so they really, didn't want to have atheists. Yeah, they did not want to deal with atheists. All right, let's look at this play that we had. So let's look at it.
This is a big come on.
And tell me he didn't tip the
know
ball.
better
Because
than
what
this.
you're taught is to knock the ball down. That's what you're taught. You always swing down. So if he'd have just let the ball go, it'd just hit the pile. If he'd have just let the ball go, it would have just hit the pile.
Now, my
But
opinion,
instead, it looks like he
the DB
tips
hits
it
the
on
tune.
purpose to him.
Watch him show the
At least that's what it
closer.
looked like to me. Watch
him show
him
the
tip it.
close up.
Watch
on
him
it.
tip it.
Look at the DB.
See?
The DB
He
tips
tips it
to
right to him. That's not what you're taught.
Here, this,
If
this
anything,
watch,
you're taught
watch
to
him
swing
tip it
down.
up. You're not taught
See,
to
he
tip
swings
the ball
up.
up. You're
So
always
of
taught
course,
to go
and
down.
it looked staged the way he was
He
behind him.
tipped the ball up.
So
Watch this. He tipped it up.
you're never taught to
Right
swing
forward.
up. You're taught the opposite.
to tip it
You're
down.
taught to swing down.
This
And I
is
know
a
y'all
big
can't forget. I caught this last night.
This is
I
the
caught
look
this
on your
chick
face when
last
you
night.
get too many monsters.
It took me, I was just watching, but I caught this chick last night. Look at this chick. Look at her. Look at this. Now, this is live
How
where
many
she ain't
monsters
blinking
do
or
you think
nothing.
she
You can
had?
tell
Look at
she
this.
is on
I
some
mean,
kind of
she is full
speed.
of monster
Unless you
drinks.
think she's an alien.
She ain't blinking or
But
nothing.
yeah, she's
She
full of
is
some kind of
full
monster drink.
This is how you look
I
when
mean,
you
she
drink
is
too many
too
monsters
well tuned in
when you're on
into
the
it.
sideline.
So just be
This is
finding
the look
funny
on your
shit.
face when you get too many monsters.
Just be finding humorous stuff to get into. Homie 43, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
How many monsters
So I thought
do you
that was
think she
humorous,
had?
so
Look at
that's why I
this.
shared that. And thank you everybody Michelle Obama, man. I got a bunch of views on Michelle Obama, Big Mike. Guess Big Meech is out of prison, and we got Big Mike, the Obama's couple, power couple, Mike and Barry. But the Eagles did win today, so that was always good. This was the best, even though I was kind of in and out. I was watching a lot in the car. This is the best they've looked all season. This is by far the best Hurst has looked all season. He hasn't looked good this season at all, and this was the best he looked. So the Eagles, look pretty decent. They look like a whole team. It was definitely staged, but it wouldn't be convincing to a person who doesn't believe in the scripted because the ball went off the thumb, not his palm or fingers. But like as a DB, you're never taught to swing up. You're taught to come down with the ball. Like all your moves should be down. You want to swat the ball down, not hand up. And I agree. It's like, yeah, it's not what you're taught for one. But it's to make it more believable. And of course, it's always you have a person that tries to get behind the pile. That's a standard move. But you're like if he wouldn't even hit the ball, it would have just hit the pile and went down. I don't think any of them could caught the ball unless he did what he did. And that goes again to me that they all have earbuds in their ears. And they showed, I don't know if y'all caught it, but they showed when they started showing the replay, they showed one dude wasn't even moving. Remember the play was going on. He was just standing there looking at one of the receivers. And he didn't move. He literally didn't turn around to face the ball until he saw the receiver cut. He just stood there. He never had one eye in the backfield. Even though he was at the end zone, he never looked at the play at all. He had his back to the play. Then the man cut to the middle. Then he moved, but he didn't move until there. So that looked very suspicious, very suspicious. So we see the fun and games they do. Sorry, I got the sniffles. Oh, okay. Give me a second. All right. Okay. That's better. That's better. I be putzing around putting shit together and I'll show this. I just put this together. And this is it's me at A&T in the brand new stadium. I got a new frame for it. The other frame was about to fall apart, so I just put this motherfucker in there. And I did go pick up some new gear, so I'll show you the gear I picked up. And like them new Jordan 38s I got, this is the same color as those. So I had to look on the box. So this is like a type of light, baby, Carolina blue. And then, this is a kind of a heavier hoodie. And I think I paid $44 for this one. And it's got the Nike embroidered. And I got the pants and paid $44 for these as well. I like matching outfits. I do. And these are the same. Nike makes the best sweatpants. Bar none. Oh. And then, I was at the outlet. I always go check Adidas. And I didn't plan on buying anything, but this was too hard to turn down. This is like almost rain material, but I mean, you can see this is like nylon. Look at this nylon. Again, got the baby blue in. I ain't really got baby blue Adidas, but got the baby blue. Got this. I mean, this is heavy. You can wear this damn near all year round. But this is really, this is nice. Rainproof nylon. This is nylon. So this was hitting for $84, but it was 60% off. And I got the pants. I got the nylon pants. And I got this. I got this for $46 because I'm a member. I mean, this jacket, like I mentioned, I didn't even go in there to really buy anything, but this jacket alone, I mean, the jacket alone is, this is, my shit be precise, When it comes to clothes, my shit be very precise. Now, this next thing I got, a lot of y'all probably don't get shit like this. Mostly young folks watch me, and so y'all don't get shit like this. So I got to take off everything to get it together. Just give me a second. But this comes from Dude's Boutique in Kentucky, and then you Capone it, Just put that Capone curve, Just put that Capone curve on it. Wool winter hat, killing them. And I think this hit they had a sale, so maybe 50, 55. And what I like is the shipping boxes is you can keep them because they're hat boxes as well. So. So the box and the hat works as a hat box. And then they always throw in the hat sizers. And I might as well give them a little publicity. This is from Dapper Fan, So that was kind of my pickup. I got another white hat coming tomorrow. So I have to see how much alike they are. If they're too much alike, I'm going to get another color. But that's just, old pimp likes that kind of stuff. Oh, and I tried on my mink coat with my mink coats with the hat. I was like, my shit is very precise when it comes to clothes. It is very precise. So, a young man stopped me today. He's like, damn, I like your hookup. Because, I had the checkered Jordan on. I had them 39s, them Jordan 39s. So that's kind of my everyday thing. When I go out, you ain't gonna never see me bummy, Oh, crap. I had to put week 9. I ain't wrote it down here yet. So that's the pickup. I did see some Jordan 38s. I think they came out to, but I think they came out to, they were 119, and with 30% off, they were I think it came to be 83, but they were them orange ones. But now I think about it, that might have been the women's shoe, the women release. So I'm gonna go back out there. I might pick them up because them shoes was like almost $200. So still very comfortable. I got the high top white ones, the ones I got married in. So I'm gonna go look again tomorrow, get a little walking because on the weekend my knees really too. My knees really been suffering. So I usually do walk about 3 miles. I didn't get a chance to walk Friday. We kind of went out and did something. I think, we went to the movies on Thursday night. Oh, that's what I got to do. I forgot about it. Did I break down Venom? Yeah, I think I broke down Venom already. Venom was good. So yeah, I broke that down already. See, I didn't have a whole lot tonight. And my allergies is kind of getting me, but I can chop a little longer. I can go just a little longer. What are these? Earbuds, Magic Sneakers from the future. Okay. I ain't gonna pay $600 for these mugs. Would y'all pay $600 for these? These are called Wanted to Own Nike. For those who want it, worn by Marty McFly. Bull Mags Air Jordan 1 sneakers are a more affordable way to achieve the futuristic look, priced at $600. But shit. Budget-friendly alternative to the Air Mags. Closer look at the sneaker. Gray, blue design resemble distinctive lacings of McFly's. Where's other pictures of it? I don't know. I don't know if this is a cop or not for me. I'm definitely not going to buy these for $600. I guess if far as collecting, maybe see if they go. But I do look at, the things they did that, I can appreciate them. I don't know if I'd get them when they coming out. So when are they set to release? Bull Mag. No release date. Oh, they might re-release them. Okay. No, sir. PJ says no, sir. Yeah. So I guess they had released these before reading it. But yeah, it's probably a pass for me as well. I don't think I could. And I like them Kobe's, the high top Kobe's. That's kind of a pass too. Them all white ones that's high top. Because almost all the Kobe's is Kobe 9s. So those is kind of a pass for me. I don't think I would go with that. I don't think those would excite me at all either. And as always, I like to show gold. Now, last time I think gold was 2,600 and something. Now gold is 2,749, y'all. 2,700, which is down $5, so it got up to 254. You see? So it must have, because gold, the markets really don't close; they kind of revolve. But and then my poor Ford stock was up to 15 and it dropped back down. But when I bought into it, it was only $5. So I've made a little money off Ford, not a whole bunch. Again, Bitcoin is still very solid at 67. Ethereum is more affordable at 24 per coin. Is silver up here? Don't see silver. Usually with gold, they put the silver. Nope, don't see the silver offhand. And what else do I? Yeah, now the lowest I saw gas today was $2.65 a gallon for regular, and you can see why at $68 a barrel. See, $68 a barrel. That's why gas is cheaper. Gas up here is cheaper. We filled the X5 up. It cost us $61. I think it was $3.39 premium. Costco has the 92 premium, and I think it was $3.39. So it cost us $61. Now I got to put some gas in the Acura, and I think it's a place close to me that I can match those prices, so that I can, because it's a little closer. So this is the money, y'all. And like I mentioned many times, you've got to know when you have 401k or whatever you have, you got to know where your money goes, and you got to make your money grow. You got to make your money grow. That's just the American way, is to make your money grow. And that's gold is the only advice I'm gonna give you. That's it. It's gold. I say a couple other things. I mean, it's not bad to buy, silver coins as well, and silver bars. They're more affordable, but their price right now, silver's about $30 a gram, I believe, or ounce. I think this Palo Santo got my allergies running. Sorry about that. But kind of a busy week. I have to take my daughter to the dentist. That's about exciting that I'm having a procedure done. No, I think I just got a doctor's visit. I don't think the procedure's till the week after. So what did Baker Mayfield do? It announced a significant fine for roughness in week 7, Lamar Jackson against Lamar. What did Baker do against Lamar? What? Week 7? NFL is now significant fine for Tampa Bay quarterback Baker Mayfield for a roughness in the week 7 game against Baltimore. What did he do? Set up highlights and Wake as, what did he do? The fine for grabbing the face mask. One of Lamar's teammates. The NFL fined Baker $11,000 for grabbing the face mask of linebacker Roquan Smith, one of Lamar's teammates, in the third quarter. This information, okay, the Mayfield quarterback. And Baltimore's Roquan Swift also got fined. So he grabbed his face mask. Is this going to show what he did? Come on, commercial. Nobody watches that bullshit. Grandpa's wild card. Oh, that is some weirdo shit. I'm trying to see what the nigga did. Maybe they're going to show what he did. Ooh, the other dude got fined $16,000. Roquan Smith was also penalized for the hip drop tackle that ended the season of Chris Godwin. That's right. And I know people saying that the hip drops can't hurt you. Yes, they can. Because you're putting all your weight on their hip. Damn, this commercial is taking forever. I'm undecided. I disagree. Oh, it's taking a long time. See, maybe they'll show it. Let's see if they'll show. This is 20th, so this is some bullshit. All right, fuck that. Fuck that bullshit. That's some old bullshit. I don't know. I do not know. And somebody named Jack Jones, the Love Boat theme singer, died. The Love Boat. I wonder if he was married to chick. No, it's Jones' death. So Jones was 86 years old. That's the way you want to die. Jack Jones and Susan George. I thought Susan George played on the Partridge Family. He was born in 1938. Brothers Alan Jones recording hit songs The Donkey Serenade. Never heard it. He got to start at the Thunderbird Hotel, so he was mob related. Signed with Capitol Records in 1959. Made an album called This Love of Mine. He recorded the ballad Lollipops and Roses, which later became a hit. Earned Jones his first Grammy for Best Solo. Really? That was the best song, is Lollipops and Roses? Okay. And then 1963, Wives and Lovers. Burke Bacharach and Hal David. The track brought even more success, including he won a second Grammy. Okay, I told you he's mob related. 1977 recorded the Love Boat theme we used for the theme for the first 9 seasons of the ABC popular romantic comedy series The Love Boat. It's composed by Fox. He was married 6 times. He was a player. He's like, I'm gonna marry him. I ain't just gonna get it. I'm gonna marry him too. 6 times, and he was married to Jill St. John. Okay, he was married to Jill St. John. She was kind of cute back in the day. He married Gretchen Roberts. He also romantically linked to actor Susan George. I thought the Partridge Family, but maybe I was wrong. So he's a player back then. So Jones and Eli, he had one daughter or two. Let's see. All right. So the Love Boat. How many of y'all know that bullshit? Oh, I think we said the Grateful Dead guy. Did we say his name? I think he died last week. Let's see. Yeah, dude from the Grateful Dead died. Let's see. I think, did we do this one? Grateful Dead dude. Member and bassist Phil Leach dead at 84. I couldn't tell you a Grateful Dead song. Okay, he died at 84. Okay, I don't know. You know, it's funny. Bill Walton watched them play. Knew these guys and saw over 1,000 concerts. I don't know any Grateful Dead songs. I must say, I don't know any of their songs. So, sorry to hear that he's gone, but I can't say that I knew their music. I really don't. Oh, wow. So Anthony Edwards, that was his coach? Wait a minute. Yeah, Anthony Edwards played for this, what's his name? Amir Abdu up here. Anthony Edwards played for him. He was assistant coach at Georgia when Ant was there. So there's a picture of them too. So, sorry, Grateful Dead is great to listen to for stoners. Well, I'm a stoner, but I can't really say I know their music. I really don't, and I know it's an older group, but I've never owned any of their music. I never downloaded any of their music. So I must say I don't know any of their music. So, but to each his own. To each his own. Bill Walton loved the fuck out of him. He saw him, as I said, 1,000 sometimes. Over 30 years. And I know Jerry Garcia was in them, because wasn't Jerry a character of Jerry Garcia in Half Baked with David Chappelle? Didn't they have like a Jerry Garcia moment in Half Baked? I think they did. But I really didn't know a lot about him. Well, I guess I'll pivot a little bit. I always give a little bit of spiritual talk and awareness. As you see, I don't really care a lot about the world in general, Like right now, we're people at our all-time emotional high over this election, which is a every 4-year trick. It's a trick every 4 years, And it's like, I'm good for rhetoric and I talk shit, on Facebook, because it's just a venting process, but it's like, who cares? Like it ain't troops like Red Dawn gonna come in the next day, or like what was it called? The Cambodia movie, Not Without My Father, or some shit like that, where the US pulls out and then the North Vietnamese come with their tanks and shit and take over. It ain't like that. It's like, I told the story when I was in Greensboro and took my ex-wife to see the Wrestlers. And, she out telling her how fake it was. And she's like, no, look, they hate each other. And then we go to Ponderosa and all them in there drinking beer. I said, honey, does it look like they still hate each other? And she's like, oh, I guess they don't. And that's what all this political stuff is. But like, if you look at our system, one word, when you take government in your senior year, whatever year you take it, is elitist. I mean, they set up a system where the people really are never going to vote for president. Why do you think they did that? They don't trust the people. They let you vote for everybody else, but they don't let you vote for president. Why is that? Why even hold the election if you can't individually vote for president? Why? And I don't think it really helped with old shit. Big Mike, Michelle, and Obama both preaching to black folks. Because to me, it seemed like they wanted to, what they were trying to do is put black men against black women. That's what, to me, the Obamas was trying to do. You know, you're against us. Because that's kind of what they tried to pull with Biden. You know, with the black sisters, you know, we got Biden and we got Georgia for Biden. And that's kind of the rhetoric I got for both of them. She's like, well, people are still saying doubts. Well, you know, so the world's not going to change dramatically. I mean, after a while, there's going to see a few changes, but the dramatic change is just not going to be there. And so it's an emotional time that why I get caught in emotionalism. Like my wife and I argued all the way to go eat today at Perkins. I love Perkins meatloaf. But all the way to Perkins, you know, we arguing about this shit. And it's like, I argue with her just to get her going because I don't really care. That's the thing. A lot of these popular events, I just don't really care about. I work more on me and how to make me and my family a better off, better dad, better husband, and better everything, better friend. It's like my friend, you know, we go back and forth with it on Facebook, especially me and my mother, but I don't, you know, when we talk, why would I waste my time on talking about other people? You know, when I see them, when I go sitting with my best friend's house and he gives me dinner and stuff while we watch the game, why would I waste time talking about politics when I'm face to face with him in his company? I wouldn't do that because it's a waste of time. Why would we talk about that when we have so much more to talk about? So in person, you know, to me, that's a waste of time. And it's a big distraction. And, you know, and people say distraction from what? A distraction from you. That's what the distraction is. It's a distraction from you being your regular self. You get caught in emotionalism that has nothing really to do with you. It's the kind of high school mentality. You know, it's the total high school mentality. Our school against your school. That's what this political process ends up being. You know, high school rivalries when the people are really all together. It's the same thing. They may argue on the Senate floor, but when they come to having lunch and shit, they go eat lunch at the same place. They go to the same hotels to have lunch, the same restaurants. When it comes to pork barrel money, y'all see construction every summer. I think that's all nationwide. So you see pork barrel money. If you don't know what pork barrel money is, they get certain legislatures, the Congress and the senators get certain legislation passed that benefits their state. Like that dude from Kentucky, whatever his old ass name is, who was freezing and shit. That dude makes $1 billion to his state every year. So do you think Kentuckians is trying to get him out when he brings $1 billion to Kentucky every year he's been in the Senate? That's hard to beat. A new person coming in, especially a brother in Kentucky. So, did you hear about VP Harris tell people who shouted, Jesus is king, go down the street to the other rally, you're in the wrong place? Yeah, and they was booing her. They was booing her and they was going, in the war, in the war, in the war. She didn't handle that because it kind of threw her off script. And this is the second time, you know, she's been caught with something religious and saying something bogus about something religious. So, I to me, looking at it right now, I mentioned this before. When I saw Hillary Clinton but bring Jay-Z and Beyonce on stage, I was like, oh shit, they might can lose. They might can lose. And I see the same desperation. She just had Beyonce, and that's desperation to me. That's how desperate she is. And I think that Trump won't make the mistakes he made. He tried to do politics. The first time he came in, he tried to do politics. This time, fuck them all. Fuck them all, get a clean slate of people, and this is how it should be. And his cabinet should be people that are loyal to him. Because he put all them politicians in shit before that you see they ain't loyal to him. You see the commercials, Trump's X this, Trump's X that. People wasn't loyal to him when he was in there. So this time he's a little more seasons on that. But again, it's the thing of we won. Okay, what did you really win? You know? It takes you away from thinking about you and what you plan to do for yourself. So whatever it is with yourself. So whatever it is, you know, you work on you. Whoever gets in, you making adjustments. It's just like sports. You see the game in front of you, you get halftime, then you go out and make adjustments. That's what life is. So whoever goes in, you just adjust accordingly. Because it's not like in Cambodia where they're going to take you into the fields and make you work. It ain't really like that. It ain't like Red Dawn where troops is landing all around your houses. Real martial law. Real martial law, they at every block. It's real martial law. But it's something else that can take away your energy too, because you're giving energy into it. You're feeding a beast, and you're giving energy into this beast that really doesn't deserve the energy you give to it. You got two fake people for all most parts that could care less about you. And yes, maybe a few things will affect you, but not overall. I mean, and it does seem like no matter who gets in the country, it doesn't seem like there's been more doom and gloom that's coming. And I just think that what we went through in 2021 was just a test on doom and gloom. That's what it appears. So, prepare however you want to prepare. Because as I said before, to me, strategic wise, if I was Iran, I would do an all-out attack on Israel right now. I would throw everything at them and make America respond. And then at the same time, Chinese should attack Taiwan. And at the same time, Russia should really go in and attack Ukraine. So how is the UN and America going to be on all these fronts? I mean, to me, militarily, that's what makes sense. That's what would have America trying to fight three fronts. And then eventually they're going to have to say, well, where are we going to put more resources? Because remember, they wasn't winning the Pacific War until they stopped fighting the Nazis. When they was fighting two fronts, they got and one thing you have to, and no disrespect for any veterans. I doubt any veterans is listening from that area, but the Japanese kicked all the Europeans out of Asia. It was the first time in modern history where all the Europeans was kicked out of Asia, or I should say Western Europeans. All the Western Europeans was kicked out of Asia. I mean, that was a tremendous feat if you look back at it for melanated folks. They were literally kicked out of Asia. They put their asses out. And America had to help them to get back in. Right? Colonize, And I was listening to the one brother, and you talking about, how they go into the businesses and business colonize, under the guise of investment. We're going to invest in your country. But, that's holding the strings, too, when they going to invest in your country or give the country loans. It's another way they get them, the colonizers, economic colonizers. And when they do that, just think of the small businesses like what Walmart started doing. Walmart would go in these towns, and all of a sudden people would quit going to the Ace is the place for the help for hardware, man. The little clothing stores, little shoe stores. Other than, Foot Locker or something like that. But all of a sudden, for moderate stuff, you don't go to your local people. You go spend your money with Walmart because it's cheaper, But that's what these these Western Europeans do. And it's like the world is so messed up. You got Germans and over British. They changed their names, but these are Germans. Look up the Nazi, the royal Nazi. They wanted to keep some lands over there because they saw the regime change. So they knew that there's nothing they could do to stop it. So they was like, hey, you join the Nazis. And the Nazis never fuck with him. And of course, the famous pictures of Queen Elizabeth and her sister throwing it up. Throwing it up. So who did they really, I mean, just shows you they're not telling you everything. They're not telling you everything. But I just say, if I was the foreign powers, that's how I would attack the world right now. That to me makes the most sense. You really going to have American going here, really American going there. And yes, it's terrible for young people because they could call up that draft at any time. And people forget that what they did during the draft, if you didn't escape to Canada, because Canada wasn't sending you back, I think you could go to England. Mexico, they would go get you. But I think in Canada, for some reason, they wouldn't go get you in Canada. And I think if you went to England, they wouldn't come get you either when they had the draft in Vietnam. And I've said many times, when I was a little boy, I remember dudes graduating one week and get their letters the very next week. And within a month, whenever that next class started, their asses was gone. And within a year, be in Vietnam fighting. And what do you really learn in a year? What do you learn? You can't really learn anything. But this is the country of the imbecile psychopaths. So they raise the best killers here. There's no doubt about that. The home of the imbecile psychopaths is America. I mean, they train these mugs to kill. And then when they get too old and don't kill for you anymore, you make them be homeless. Isn't that some shit? Or you do like American Sniper and you fucking murder him because you're scared of him and you're scared that who he might work for. If he really did get killed, because he still could be underground. Yeah, he really could be still underground. It's hard to say with that kind of situation, but that's how scared of him they were. They was like, what if he works for the bad guys and this guy can kill from, feet away? And if I remember right, I think the longest recorded shot was 4 miles. The shot was so long they had to have spotters in different positions to tell the wind and stuff. I think it was 4 miles. The longest recorded shot, I think, was 4 miles. I don't know. I had to go look. I did a video on that years ago, or this past year at least. But we have stone cold killers. Richard Pryor used to say them good old boys locked up in Mississippi if they let them out. And this is a country of imbecile psychopaths as far as killers go. But he said, yeah, I got that one. Doom and gloom is going to happen regardless who gets in. Yeah. Hang hand, I think so. I think it is coming, but thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
So that's where, preparation, water, little simple things that you're going to have stored up somewhere or something. When I moved in this house, I threw away probably 200 pounds of beans I had saved for years. And, beans don't go bad. But it was like I had nowhere else to put them. And I had kept them for like 4 or 5 years. I had them dry beans, had them in a tote for about 4 or 5 years. I was kind of a prepper. Kind of wish I would have kept some of that stuff. And I had canned goods forever. But the bad thing about canned goods is you can get, if you just was forced to eat out of canned goods, you can get sick from that. I mean, it's okay to eat them every now and then, but if that was your main source, and again, we eat anything when we starving, but you can get a disease from just eating canned foods all the time. Like if you were really poor and all you ate out of canned foods, it'll eventually make you sick. Can't think of what it'll give you, but it will give you a sickness. So if it was a doom and gloom situation, and that you just eating canned goods, eventually you're going to get sick off that. And I mean, they have us so dependent on supermarkets. They have us so dependent, where we don't grow our food. And being up here in this part of the country, I'm at a disadvantage because when it snows, I mean, we're to the mercy of weather. That's why I've been trying to buy me a little potbelly stove, a little wood burning stove, just in case. I'll cut the shit out of these trees around here, and I know you ain't supposed to burn green wood, but damn it, it'll burn. You put enough heat and some liquid on it, that shit'll burn. So it's better than fucking freezing to death. But that's one of my things I want to get is a little stove. I can throw wood in it and start buying. Right now, I don't think I got enough room in my backyard to put a whole cord. But for those of you that have houses, that's some possibility, It's like I have a gas fireplace, but I used to own a home with a wood burning stove with blowers on it. And, I had a couple cords in the backyard. And one time my furnace went out and that wood burning stove. Literally, and my house was 3,400 square feet at the time. I've talked about it before. I think my living room, where the stove was probably 800 to 900 feet. This room was massive. It was a nice, cool living room. We had one of them big ass couches that filled the room up and other little chairs and shit. It was a nice big room. And that it warmed up the whole house. It kept the whole house with that one burning stove. I just kept it going all night. It kept the whole house at like 68 degrees in the middle of winter. Just, no heat in the basement because the furnace went out. And then instead of paying somebody, we just put on the local community thing, and the dude came over and fixed it. He came over. He's like, I'll give it a try. We was like, how much? He's like, you guys are neighbors. It's free. So what did it say? I get by with a little help from my friends. And just remember, it's like a lot of people, and I see it especially in this day and age and on this thing, I see it all the time. I see where people will attack people and it's like almost burn the bridge with them. But then you start seeing them backpedal. Oh, I bought their comic book, and then you see them supporting it. But for a long time, their rap was about tearing that person down and the business they was doing. All of a sudden you see them backpedaling, you be like, who's paying you? It's almost like the dress thing. It's like, a young man telling the people it's okay for young dudes to wear dresses. And you have to look at who's paying you to say that. Is that responsible to tell young men that it's okay, do whatever, especially now with this puffy thing. See, it ain't the same thing no more, huh? This puffy shit coming out. Should you be telling young men to wear dresses? I think not. But there's so many distractions, and the world is really about you and how you spiritually take care of yourself, how you physically take care of yourself, how you mentally take care of yourself. And these are all things that every day you should think about. And also you should think about how wondrous and how beautiful everything is when it really comes to it. Like how beautiful your children are, how beautiful your wife, girlfriend, how beautiful they are, how beautiful the relationship you have with them, the way you put your home together. I mean, we take this stuff for granted. What did they say about when people go to jail? The thing about jail is you get used to it. And that's the same way when you get your home. You get used to it. The newness after, you live there for a while, the newness goes away. It's like I bought, this picture. I put a little more art up, all this stuff, this pictures of them and all this stuff, it works for me. All this stuff works for me. So when I need that extra help, they all come, all this energy comes in and works for me, helps me. When I have to call on these things, it helps me. And so that's kind of how it is. It's like if you don't, you shouldn't appreciate things just because you think you're about to croak. You should appreciate things all the time because there is a beauty to this world. I mean, you've been out there in grass. Give you, where I walk, I'm gonna give you a beautiful story just to tell that we stay youthful forever. My walk is around this magical lake. I mean, I take my pendulum, it goes crazy around this lake. But anyway, and it was an older couple walking in front of me because I walk at a quite fast pace. But there was this older couple in front of me, and the older dude, they appeared to be in their mid-70s, so they probably had me by 10 years, easy. And the old man just started walking in the grass, kicking leaves. I mean, he walked down, just the side of the grass, kicking leaves. And again, I got the vision where in his youth, he used to like that kind of thing. Loving the fall. Now, I'm pretty sure the majority of you have raked up a pile of leaves and jumped into it. I know I did as a little boy. They tell us to go out there and rake the leaves, and before they knew it, we done pushed them all back anyway because we jumping in them and shit. And how that felt. And seeing the seasons change. I know some parts of the country, people don't really see the seasons change, but up here, you see, when the fall, I know PJ in Ohio, I know you see them pretty colors. Here, this state, we don't have maple trees. We don't have maple trees, so we don't get them really, that maple red. That's what Michigan is one of the prettiest places on the earth in the fall. especially you go up like north of Detroit. You go up around the Detroit River or whatever that river, whatever it turns into. There's a lot of shoreline and stuff. A lot of the glacier rocks is up in there, and you know Michigan really gets those maple reds, and we don't get that here. There's a few trees that get, but this is not as pretty. But again, it's no matter what this thing is we living in, there's parts and times of it where it's beautiful. And there's days that are really beautiful for us. And there's feelings that we can still get that's really beautiful feelings. If you can dig it. So in a lot of ways, life is still really good. There's some beauty to this evil world. Indeed. Yes, the trees be showing out. Yeah. There's one red tree when I walk. And you know, like I noticed and I touch trees when I walk, and I started seeing more and more people do that. As I do it, I'm starting to see people do it as I go around. And it's a way to ground. It's a way to thank the park, to thank nature. That now I'm just not there to use it. I'm there to this park to enjoy it. I try to, see every tree. I try to see the ducks, the swans. The ducks stay the whole year. The Canadian geese, it's going to be in the 70s the next couple of days. So when they leave, then you know it's about to come. But long as they here, it ain't going to get too cold because the geese love it here. Shit, they be in that little lake eating the shit out that lily pads and shit, the grass that grows in the lake, that kind of little light grass. They eat the shit out that shit, and so that just shows you like how a tree is. It doesn't cost a tree anything to survive. Yet when it doesn't want to get killed because of the cold, it just goes to sleep. Its roots and all the fungus and all the electrical vibes is still going. All that's still going on. But the tree made sure it had enough energy to last until it puts its leaves out again in the spring. So it stores enough energy where it doesn't matter how cold it gets, it ain't fucking with that tree. And then the same way is when the squirrels are busy in the motherfucker now. They building them nests, put all them nuts and shit. Grubs, they put all that shit up there that'll last them. And them squirrels put enough to last through the winter. Because at some point, the ground if it's a lot of snow, they can't get to if it's just a little snow, they can still scratch around and get some nuts and whatever. But if it ain't, there's nothing for them to really get. So they have to put enough in there, and then they can slow their heart rate down when it gets really cold. Because think about a squirrel. He ain't got nothing on but, a fur coat. But yet he can survive. And for the most part, they live free. We are there that might do something to them. I mean, in the cities, the coyotes ain't really around the cities like that. Fox. I have to go, a couple miles out to the country where you see something like that. You see the coyotes and the foxes. But for the most part, where I live, you ain't gonna see that shit. And I see deer every now and then. There's a turkey. I saw a turkey in the backyard. We see deer all the time. They'd come through the backyard. Even though there's a lot of buildings around here and shit. But every now and then I've seen a few deer come through the back. But we get caught up as like what it is instead of what is this reality. Instead of whatever it is, we just gonna enjoy it and we're gonna play the reality just as much as the reality gonna play us. And remember that whatever it is, you can program it just as much as it's programming things, you can program it too. You can make this thing really bend to your will if you can understand that. You can make the thing pay you just for being you. I mean, I ain't never really struggled. Not really. Not where, and I've been homeless for a week. Where I had to live, but my family and I had to live in a hotel until our place was ready. But, I've had that kind of experience. But other than that, I pretty much got paid for being me. And I've had a fun life, and I'm still having more fun. That's what life is about, is having fun. As I said before, when I pet my cat, it is like I'll never pet them again. When he sits on my lap, when they come see me every day, all the cats come see me every day. They want that love. They knock on our doors because they want us downstairs so they can just be around us. They don't need to be bothered a whole bunch where a dog is right there with you. But they like being around us. Because when we're around each other, it makes life flow better for all of us. I know, the cats feel lonely when we ain't there. And of course, they go off and take naps, but they sleep better when we're all in the room. A lot of times when I get up in the morning, the cats will come around me, they get their pets, I feed them, and then they go back to where they're going to take a nap in the morning. While I'm there reading or whatever I'm doing, contemplating. And that's our cycle. They just like having me in the room, not locked in the room, because we don't let them come in the room. Our youngest cat, my oldest cats, they'll just lay there, but not the young one. He's all on our heads, and he just, he's 3-4 years old, maybe 3 years old. So he just hasn't learned to just chill. So, and we just, the hustle and bustle of life so often teaches us not to enjoy life or have fun. But the biggest thing is like we get caught too much in the daily drama. Like right now, I was talking about with the politics. It takes you away from you. You versus them. Even these sports games. We won. What did you really win? What did you really win? If you look at it, what did you really win? People that don't care about you, people that are obviously actors. I mean, sports people are some of the biggest actors. There's no doubt about that. And it's going to a game is no different than going to a movie. It's not real. It's scripted. It's worked on. And it's a fluid movement. It's not, stagnant. It's like, okay, this came up. This is how we're going to respond to it. I call it the egghead man in the room. And now the way the gambling's going, there's a bunch of egghead men in the rooms. Probably at one time was just one, but now there's a whole group of eggheads. They're in the room looking up every way that is scripted. I mean, basketball is, they got to score. So you see when at times when they have to script it. Well, we're going to help make this shot go in. We're going to make this one miss. But it's like watching the Globetrotters. When you watch the Globetrotters play, when they play the music, they backing up and down. But then when they do tricks, they turn the music off so you can listen to their tricks. And that's what the NBA and any sport is. Now, we watched a baseball game where a mug did the Kurt Gibson. The mug hits a home run in the bottom of the 10th. When you took a good pitcher out that was kind of handling them. And then we see, again, if you want a homer, that's why baseball is the easiest to fix, because you can give them a homer anytime. You can tell them to miss a ball anytime, drop a ball anytime. So baseball is one of the easiest to fix, and it's been fixed the longest. I mean, again, I refer to Ken Burns. Watch that special, and it shows you how it started, And I had to get in quantum of science because of, I think it's excellent and it's outstanding that college players get paid. I think it's outstanding that high school players can get paid. You know how many people I know got hurt in like 10th grade, 11th grade? And these people were the top rated person in the country in their class. And they got hurt in high school. Not AG, but the other dude that went to Marquette. Don't you know when that dude was in Chicago in 8th grade, he was killing men? I mean, he was playing in tournaments with men in 8th grade, dunking on them. I can't think of it, not AG, but the other guy. I mean, we was going to Chicago to watch this dude play in men tournaments in 8th grade. Before he got hurt, this dude was handling everybody in Chicago. He was going to definitely be that next dude before he hurt his knee. And he still made it up to Marquette with a hurt knee. But before he hurt his knee, that dude was putting in business. Oh, man, he was real. He could hoop. That dude could hoop. My cousin Garvey's like, you got to go see this cat. And I think first time I saw him, he was only in 8th grade putting in work. But he was like about 6 foot then. So what the fan and interference, a plant or coincidence because they showed it happen in the previous World Series. Exactly. The Kurt Gibson. Kurt Gibson was walking down the hall, was hurt. He could barely run. And they called him back. Oh, come on back, Kurt. And I watched that shit live when it happened. Willie Gates, that's his name. William Gates. Yeah. Yeah, Gates. Yeah, Gates. Gates was his name. I first watched him play in 8th grade. My cousin, like, man, come down to see this dude hoop. In 8th grade, he was holding it with men. He could hold it with men. And that's basketball in general. Dudes get good really early. You know, I've noticed that since I was a boy, that dudes get good in basketball early. By the time basketball players get 13, 14, like think about this. No matter where you go, think about it. And I don't, maybe it's different now, but I'll tell you my story. When I was in junior high, everybody played. When I went to, I'll start there. Well, even go back to grade school. 5th, 6th grade, everybody was playing. Everybody in gym class could play. Getting to junior high, even though they didn't play on the teams, they played on the gym class. Everybody had a game. You follow me? So you in junior high, everybody can play. You play fight, everybody can play. You play pickup, your age people, everybody can play. Everybody has their own game. But then the fat starts to clear, you know. The fat starts to get skinnier when you get into high school. Less and less dudes can continue. And of course, when you take that jump to college, but even the people that play semi-pro, you know, you don't see them same dudes you was playing with when you was younger. If you play semi-pro, you starting to play against the younger dudes that's around. You see that people don't play like that as they get older. I mean, I didn't quit playing semi-pro to basically 45. I didn't play when I moved here. I moved here at 44, so I didn't play when I moved here. I played in, I think, 1 Macker tournament, maybe 2. First summer I lived here, the summer of 7, I think I played in 2 Macker tournaments. And that was kind of the end of my semi-pro career. I didn't really play after that. But you see how, people continue and the people that are good keep playing. I've heard some of the best street ballers never play in the NBA and are from Chicago. We talked a while ago about the dude they called the Jordan Killer. That he was the one dude, and he was in jail most of the time. And I think maybe PJ knows his name, but it was a brother. There was about 6'3". They called him the Jordan Killer. Jordan played against him one time and would never play him again. He would actually run Jordan out. If he was there hooping, Jordan wouldn't hoop. Because that dude was one dude that Mike couldn't deal with. He was in and out of prison, but he was called the Jordan Killer. Because the one time he played against Jordan, he put it on Jordan. And he was only about 6'3". I probably got his name written down somewhere. I know we talked about this before. I'll say Detroit too. I ran across a lot of people in Michigan that really could play. Sad story. I mean, Damian Patterson was a high school All-American as a junior. And then he sells a joint to somebody in school. As a junior, he signed to Oklahoma. He played with Stacey King in Oklahoma. He would have been on that championship team if it wasn't for Prop 48. He was on the team, but he couldn't, play his freshman year. But he was on that, if it wasn't for Prop 48, he would have been on that team. But anyway, with Damon, Damon sold a dude a joint. Then they go to his locker. This nigga's got a quarter pound. So they wouldn't let him play basketball the whole year. And granted, he played at Oklahoma for 3 years, played all across. I think the nigga moved to the Philippines. He moved to Philippines, his visa's out, this nigga's still hooping. But he didn't make it to the league. Numerous other cats that I ran into, It's like I always talk about Shotty Vaughn. This is the 6th year Shotty has been out the league. Shotty went in the league at 18. He played 18, 19. He played at 18 years old, 19. So he was the year after Giannis. He was the number 1 pick for the Bucks after Giannis. And I'll say this, is you see how they push people, and you look at him as he wasn't one chosen. He was the number 1 pick, must have been in 14. I think Giannis was picked in 13. Because I think Giannis is my son Brennan's age, 29 or 30. And I think Shotty was the number 1. He was the number 15th overall pick, so he's out the lottery. And Shotty's been out the league. So he played in the league 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I think. No, I think he only played in the league for 3 years. Now he's playing overseas somewhere. He's been out of the NBA. He only got to play the NBA for 2 or 3 years. Played at UNLV. Rashad Vaughn. You can look him up, Rashad Vaughn. So last 6 years, he's been playing somewhere else. NBA didn't give him a real chance. So it's a lot of players that get the chance and they get put out, you know. For some reason, they can't play the script good enough. So, what do you say? You know why he's not in the league? They want him to do something he's not going for. Could have been hard for him to follow. Because like if you look at why is Westbrook still in the league, why is Chris Paul still in the league, you have to understand they're in the league only because they can follow the script. Westbrook is bad on purpose. Chris Paul is bad on purpose. You got Embiid who plays hurt, not hurt. That's why I made the video about the Otani. Is that his name, Otani? Did he really get hurt? And is that excuse why if the Yankees win the next 2 games because he hurt? Or are they going to get swept? I say right now, it looks like they're going to get swept. I just think the Dodgers have a more solid team. But, the New York's going to win more than 1 game because they want to have probably at least 3 games in New York. I could be wrong, but looking at it, they want that New York money. Because, World Series games, that brings probably $20 million to the city of New York. I'm talking about per day. It's like the Colorado games. The Colorado games gives $1 million every game. 20 million, excuse me. It gives the economy $20 million every game. So you know what the money that a World Series game brings the city. Even a big city like New York still brings in a lot of money. So I doubt it they're going to 2 games in New York and going to win both games. I doubt that just because the financial aspect is they want to share. Now, maybe the thing is, okay, we got the money in LA for 2 games. Now we're putting the money in New York for 2 games and that's it. But normally TV wants more revenue and the cities want at least 3 games in each city, at least. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I say 2, Hang Hand. I say that too. The Dodgers winning Fernando Valadez. I think I touched on that too. It could be a sacrifice. That was definitely a sacrifice, and that could be the nod that gives them the overall. But I'd say New York still is going to have, I'd say 3 games. I say New York is probably going to win these next 2, or at least 1. And so, but again, it's going to be 3 at one stadium, 2 at the other. But it's the money. It's all about money. And it's all about revenue. That's why, the NBA, the worst it ever did was when the Spurs won. That was the lowest viewership ever. Every year the Spurs won was the lowest viewership ever because people just didn't care. You didn't have any real personalities in Duncan or David Robertson, a little bit. He only won 1, didn't he, David Robertson? So it's about personalities that can sell tickets. And nobody cares about San Antonio either. Not really. So how long I've been going? I ain't gonna go to. Oh, I've been going that long? Wow. I like tobacco. I like it like this. I ain't gonna smoke the motherfucker. Pushing that. Yeah, and that's ridiculous. And this is what I think the guy's name is Mike Smith. And Mike Smith, and this is probably 20 years ago now, Mike Smith had a way that you could throw the ball and not tear up your arm. Now, as I've talked about this before, there was one dude that used to play, and I don't even think he's in the league anymore. And the only part he did is he would rest his arm. Like if you guys can remember that picture that he would kind of rest his arm to the side before he would pitch. That's the only part of Mike Smith. Mike Marshall, I think was the cat's name. And I'll have to look that video up sometime. But Mike Marshall came up with a way to throw that don't tear up their arms. Because Otani came over here and tore up his arm. Why is it when they pitch, they end up needing that Tommy John surgery? It's something wrong. So Mike Marshall came up with a way where you pitch, but you throw differently. And his guys weren't tearing up their arms. And as I said, it was one pitcher that the way Mike Marshall taught you to rest your arm between pitches is one dude that did it. I don't think he's playing anymore, but that's the only part of it he did. So about how him going 50-50, but Ricky Henderson hit 40 home runs and had damn near 100 bases stolen. Now, didn't Canseco go 50-50 too? I thought Canseco did the same thing, hit 50 home runs and stole 50 bases. And no telling, people forget about Willie Mays. Willie Mays had, 5 years taken from him because they made him go into service and wouldn't let him play baseball and do service at the same time? They took 5 years from Willie Mays. And he arguably could probably be the best player ever, was Willie Mays. I mean, a lot of you, he played back in the 50s and 60s, wouldn't know, but this guy is going to steal the bases every time, was giving you 40, 50 home runs every year. I mean, that catch he did over his head, he said he learned from Don Hudson, the football player. Now that's standard, to catch a ball over your head like you catching a football. Before Willie Mays did it, nobody. And then he had a cannon. He probably had the second best arm ever. I think Roberto Clemente probably had the best arm ever from the outfield. I'd say Willie Mays was a close second. Watch that where Roberto Clemente catches that ball deep right field and he throws a rocket to home plate, gets this motherfucker out by a mile. So, yeah, that's what I thought. Canseco did too. Yeah, I was sure Canseco did because I started hearing it the first time, like Canseco did the same thing. So, yeah, Henderson, like it just shows you, like Henderson was a great athlete and how easy he stole bases. I mean, like a lot of but think about how bad boy Jackie Robinson used to steal home. Because pitchers didn't understand. When you're in the stretch, because I used to steal home on pitchers all the time that would be in the stretch. Because you can't throw it. So I can get my lead far as I can. And so if a dude stays in the stretch, you just go for home. And your batter knows to get out the way. A couple of times I was like, don't swing. I was like, don't swing. And I'd touch the plate. I'd get there when the pitch got there. Because I got so big a lead where he can't do anything but go home, if you understand baseball. Now, to hold me on, he gets into he's in the, he's sideways. But if he's in a regular stretch, there's nothing you can do. You could run down the path and he's got to beat throwing you to the home plate. So when I was a little boy player, I always stole home because I understood how the game worked. But stealing third was nothing. Like even when I play softball, you can't, literally, you have to touch the base. And once the catcher catches the ball, then you can steal. And I used to do that like it was nothing. I could beat the catcher throwing to second easy every time. And then was going to do the same thing to go to third. Like once we got on, every level we stole. Rest in peace to the PED era. Has more personalities up until 2000. I heard Randy Moss was better at baseball than he was at football and basketball. Might have been. I watched him hoop. He hooped in, I didn't play in the Pro-Am that he played in, but I watched Randy Moss play. I watched him play in the Pro-Am. He could hoop. He's a pretty good basketball player. Because the Pro-Am here is still going on in the summer. Ty Jones runs it now. Well, it used to be a cat named Howard Pulley that ran it. But now Ty runs the summer Pro-Am league now. And all these local cats play in it. But yeah, Randy Moss was a good athlete. Actually a pretty good dude too. I watched him do a lot of charity events around here that was, a lot of brothers wouldn't do or go. Because he would go to places in the hood, which is North Minneapolis or the South Side. I ain't see Kirby Puckett do that much with the hood, Maybe go to a church and give out some turkeys. That was about all. But I didn't really see him, being in the hood like that. Like Randy would. Somebody had something in the hood, Randy would be there. He didn't mind the people. And J.R. Ryder would shoot craps in the street with you. I mean, he was as much nigga as anybody. He was straight up hood. Him and his little crew, they didn't care. He was straight up still the same dude that left California. He was just that same dude. And you appreciate people like that. It'd be the same no matter what. Money don't get to their heads. I was watching that thing on, is it Netflix? It's showing Ant's House, and my son, he did Ant's Floors. He's like, because my son is about 6'4", and he's like, man, Ant's a lot bigger than me. I'm like, really? You know? And it's funny, like how you look at your family and stuff. My younger son, like, I went through something. And it's like what younger people don't understand is they think they'll live forever. And they don't understand that, you know, you can make certain mistakes that will determine shit for the rest of your life sometime, or even take your life, you know? And so he's got some hard decisions to make, because it's like all you can do is help and support. But it's like, if your judgment's fucked up, you never know. Yeah, him and Jason Williams played together in high school and grew up in the same area. And yeah, they from West Virginia. Yeah, they're from West Virginia. And Randy Moss, from where he grew up, was one of the first to ever make it out where he grew up. Because it was interesting. If you watch the special on him, they talk about all the dudes who, you know, didn't make it. And that's what drove me. You know, that's the very thing that drove me when I went to A&T. It was like, no way I was going to be the dude to have to go back to Kalamazoo because, you know, I was the failed athlete when I went to college. You know, it was like, no way I was going to be that guy. Now, on the other side, my stepdad worked at General Motors, and it's like, that wasn't a bad gig to get up in there, because back then you was making 70, 80,000 30, 40 years ago, when it's closer to what 80,000 back in, making that in 81, 82 is probably like almost 200,000 today. I mean, people in them car factories making that real money. So that wasn't a bad thing, but that died. They pulled that out and that died. And then you had to move somewhere else where they continued that. So that wasn't always there for you. I mean, that was temporarily there for my dad's generation, but not really for my generation. So that was the thing that kept me there and kept me playing for the 3 years I played, is that I just wasn't gonna. And you know, it's like we got harassed by the veterans because you taking some of their jobs, so they would harass you over it. You know, like same way it was like being in a frat, and I wasn't gonna let them run me out. One of my homeboys had played there the previous year, and they ran that nigga out. They said they chased that nigga to the bus station, and he weighed 280 pounds. He was 6'4", 280. They called him Big Mick. Mickey Taylor was his name. And they was like, yeah, we chased the shit out of Big Mick. He couldn't take it. And when I went into my freshman class, within the first month, it was 30 of us. And by the first game, it was probably down to 15 of us. More than half of the guys left. It was hazing too, but I mean, half of the guys left. I think only 2 people started. Yeah, I think only 2 people started. One of the 2, he ended up getting hurt, but Wayman ended up starting too. Keith would have been the kicker. No, Keith was the kicker. He was the field goal kicker that first year. So 3 of them played out of the 15. And a couple, I think people was on kickoffs and stuff. And then, you know, when you're a freshman, they kind of try to keep your eligibility too. Because like, it ain't like now where you got 6 games and you can still get another year eligibility. Back then, if you played a minute in the game, that was a year. You know, just they got you on film for a minute, that's your whole year. If you just was on, because I had a homeboy that had to be in the supplemental draft, one of my teammates, and all he did was on kickoffs all year. Kickoffs, that's all he did. He traveled, but he only played during kickoffs. And he lost the whole year because he tried to come back that next year, and they told him, because I was up there at the office. They's like, man, we found you on film. You played. Because he thought he was going to be able to come back just because he did that. But it's like, no, you played. So he ended up the only supplemental pick of the Lions. Like, you have the draft, and then they used to have a thing on players that became eligible or something, ineligible. So they'd have what was called a supplemental draft. And he got picked by the Lions. He didn't make it, but he got picked by him. So we all have, you know, motivations. That's $240K today. Yeah. Them people work for General Motors. Like my dad was an engineer. My stepdad was an engineer. He got a car every year. You dig what I'm saying? For 30 years, he got a brand new car, whatever he chose, whatever he wanted, no payments. He had every car you could name. If he wanted a Cadillac, he told him, bring me a Cadillac. For 12 months, he got a Cadillac. He turned that in. Well, what do you want this year? I want this kind of car. He coming home with it. He worked there 33 years and he got a new car every year for 33 years. That's it, with no payments. Because my mother was telling me how hard that became on them because they didn't have when they went to get a house, they're looking at this car and they're like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way that you're not making payments on this car. But that was one of his perks, is that he got a new car every year for 30. I think he worked there 35 years. I think something like that. But at least in Kalamazoo, the 30 years he worked in Kalamazoo, he got a new car every year. So them people, so that was the one thing that was cool in Kalamazoo. And then you had 3 main factories that were supplier parts. And for those of you old enough to remember what a Checker Motor car is, they built Checker Motors cars there, and they made good money, until they closed it down. They made good money too. So they were some of the better jobs, and I knew a few dudes that graduated. Like I had a friend, his mother's name was Earl, not Earl May or Mary Earl. Her real name was Earl. And she got Bruce in when Bruce graduated. Bruce was maybe 3 years younger than me. And I think he got in there before they closed the plant. He probably graduated 82, 83. So he probably got 6 years in. And I think he had to move to Toledo if he wanted to keep his job. Because I know my stepdad, when they closed the plant, he ended up moving to Pontiac. My uncle moved to Toledo too. My uncle moved down to Toledo until he retired to keep working for General Motors. But my stepdad moved to Pontiac while that plant was still open. So it wasn't, but it was just the fact of being there. And then I never moved back to Kalamazoo. I did live in Battle Creek for 20 years, but I never moved back to Kalamazoo. My childhood home, I never lived in my childhood home then since. When I left at 18, that was the last time I lived there. I've been gone ever since. But like my brother was killing it too. He had a good job in Michigan. He was killing it. Like 20 years ago. I already know what the finesse. I already know what plant your step pops worked at. Yeah, he worked at Pontiac. Yeah, he worked there. I think when they closed the plant, the Fisher Body in Kalamazoo, he had 3 years to work. So I think he moved to Pontiac and worked his 3 years. So he got the full benefits. And now he's lounging in California. So, but yeah, that's where he worked in Pontiac. And then there's a big plant. There was a big plant in Toledo. I don't know if it's there. It's like Stellantis has screwed the workers making them Jeeps, and they're quit making the big Ram truck. I think it was called the Ram 1500. They just laid off 2,500 people. It's a lot of people. And really the government should really be at fault, because the government knew that company made shitty cars. Everybody in the world knew them shitty cars they make, the MGs. Like don't let them fool you. Maserati ain't a good car. Maserati, I don't care if it's the truck, it's the Quattro. None of them cars are good cars. That company that makes them has a bad history. Aston Martin, that's another one they make. Their history of unreliable cars. So anybody surprised that they don't make good cars? I mean, how long could they last off of Hemis? And again, you saw, because like a car takes 5 years from initial stage to making it. It takes 5 years to put everything together, to test it. So that's why there are no new cars. The cars that look new was planned 5 years ago. So it's not really new. I mean, it's, new looking, but it's not, it's an old idea. By the time you see it on the road, it took 5 years. At least back when I was in the auto industry, that's how long it took. 5 years from planning to full production, prototypes, testing. It took 5 years. And it is sad that the world doesn't have the security that my father's generation had. You know, my father's generation, like, even though my father had got his college degree, he graduated in 61, but he didn't get his degree until 68 because he's working too. And then I think in 71, 72, he got his master's. Whereas my stepfather, you know, was trained strictly by General Motors. They taught him how to be an engineer. He was an industrial engineer. And so they taught him everything. They sent him to school. And that's why I've said before, you know, to most jobs, they have to train you at anyway. That's why it was a scam, and it was the government worked with the colleges to force people to get degrees so they could do this college loan thing. It was a collaboration between the government and these businesses. And these businesses started saying, we're only going to take college grads. So that was to make more people go to college and get degrees and get student loans. And now you look at the student loan thing, and all these people own these hundreds of $1,000s. People been paying for 20 years and still owe 20, 30,000. So it was all a scam. It was all a scam. I'm kind of scared to get an engineering job in that field because of the layoffs. I'm going to school right now for engineering. Yeah, that's a consideration. You kind of probably want to look at a factory that's been there for a while. I'm in school for computer engineering. Okay, well, yeah, that, you know, go to where the jobs are. Start looking at the job market now and go to where the jobs are. You know, look around, see, you know, the different companies and see where you fit in, see what, if you can get any practical experience doing what you want to do when school's out in the summertime, find somewhere you can intern and start getting real, you know, lifetime experience doing it. So, but do your research, and the key is you get the degree, and degree just opens the door for you. It just opens the door for you. But you know, every job has to show you how the job is done. My daughter's mother is an accountant, so she knows several systems. But when she gets hired for a new job, they have to show her what system, or if she's familiar with the system, they have to show you how they apply the system. So. And I'm not saying college is a waste, because not really, you know. I learned a lot going to college. You know, that's what made me be a cop. You know, I had a 2-year degree. I got my associate's degree in criminal justice. So, can't say college is bad. It's not all bad. Living on campus is great. That is great. I don't think there's anybody that lived on campus wouldn't say it wasn't. You know, it's I would say for all young people, that's a great experience to live on campus. It gives you a true reality of life, but with the constraints. You know, you still have to conform to the university and the rules, but it gives you a big taste of freedom. You know, at that level, and it's, you know, still highly competitive. You know, you talking about sports, it's highly competitive. I remember when they first sent me the A&T's book on, you know, the players and stuff. I'm looking at this receiver, 6'4", you know, I was like, wow, how am I going to compete against somebody like that? But it didn't deter me to go. I was like, well, I can catch, and I'm reasonably fast, so I knew I had a chance. So I was like, I ain't going to let this stop me, you know. I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to go do my thing. That's all you can do. Is do your best. So, well, I'm hitting the 2-hour peak. As you know, I'm going to be back on Wednesday to put my picks in. Now in Mayan time, today is 13 Batoons, 0 Katoons, 12 Tunes, 0 Unos, and 9 Kin. We are in... And today's Glips is what's called water. And up there represents Venus. And then you see The 9 right here, that represents 5. The dots are 1. That's Venus. I think this is Quattroquotto. Forget, I'll read the card. And so we have now come to the most complex symbol within the Toltec tradition, water. Here we have to deal with a very special circumstance because as one of the 5 main portals of the world, together with fire, earth, and sun and wind, water is represented in more ways than one in this oracle. Closely connected to 2 other symbols, Kawato, which is the rain, card 19, and Talak, the god of the rain, or the ruler card. This meaning overlaps some extent, as do most of the symbols in the Toltec. This seems confusing, but not so much as we explore the subtle but important differences between them. Atel is the water below, ocean, rivers, lakes, while Kawato is the rain or water from above. Based on the way each of them work in nature, they are characterized as feminine and masculine entities. Atel, number 9, okay. The day signs for Atel, number 9, for Kawato, number 19, appear opposite one another in the Topolani. Together with Ato and Kawati are the sacred couple of water. Talak, on the other hand, and general deity are sacred principle that includes and is superior to all water-related figures. To visualize these distinctions, we could say that while Atel acts on earth and Kawato in the sky, both have a direct influence what happens on earth. Talak resides in the universe, and his area of influence is much bigger because of this and other differences that will be seen in their respective chapters. So anyway, what that means for you today is as nurturing power, as the placenta that envelopes, protects, and nourishes, it represents the place of time when the new is being evolved and getting ready to come into the world for the first time. This metaphor of the pregnancy process illuminates how every new dream or project is realized. It should be embraced, cared for, nurtured, and brought into life of the world at the proper time. Like the water is the source of life, you are being called to embrace something that is coming to exist for the first time. Just like her, you are the sacred container of a brand new expression of life energy that comes after a gestation period. Be aware, be ready, and be generous in your nurturing of what is coming. It's already within you, whether you are aware of it or not. So that is kind of you have to feed your idea. You have to, even though it doesn't come today and it ain't there today for you, you still have to nurture it and feed it and don't give up on it, because too often or not, we give up on our ideas. So whatever the idea or the opportunity is. And the Mayan is called basically the same thing. But in the Mayan, that's 8. So in the Mayan, they call it Lamont, which is also means the sage. The sage is alone so he may hear the inner voice speak. There is a need for quiet so the path may be seen clearly. The lintel demonstrates confusion that was life of the sage, for it shows 2 men in a boat and they are going different directions. The tunnel of the sky is the opening the sage requires to see. The sage has no needs, for the universe provides everything that is necessary to sustain him. He makes no demands whatsoever. He takes no effort. Either he survives, yet he survives. The mystery of existence staff supports him. The fire in the bowl warms him, and the bowl are depicted opposite. So today, the planet that would rule you is Mercury. You have I don't know what that means. The plants are cereals, wheats, oats, and barleys. Quality is it's a feminine day, and body. And the gem for today would be jasper. The color for today, if you want a power color, is yellow green. The tone would be F. Direction north or below. So yeah. So that's the divination for tonight. Hope that helped. And I appreciate everybody that comes. Thank you so much for people really watching my little goofy shorts. I appreciate that. I mean, you know, that you can take the time to watch that stuff. It's really amazing. I mean, I'm almost to like 100,000 views, and basically because of them shorts. So, you know, thank you. I appreciate it. And every time I come on, I try to be sincere and bring what knowledge of being an old motherfucker has. Because, you know, it's good getting old. You know, they try to, like, there's no war with me and any young folks. I ain't got nothing against no young people, you know, and I've been the same. If you watch me, I ain't really flip-flopped. You watch me since this channel's been up for since 20. My other channel came up on 14 and they took it away in 20. So if you watch my old channel before they took it away, you know, you can see I've been pretty consistent from then until today. And then of course this channel is going on 5 years. It'll be actually 5 years in January since this channel's been up. So I appreciate everybody that takes their time to watch me. I try to give a little bit. I try to answer the questions or the comments, you know, as long as they're respectful. That's all I ask. I don't have to, it's like the argument. Some people want to talk shit, and their argument is to talk shit. It's instead of really what they learned. And I think, you know, that's distractions in a lot of ways. All you can state is what you learned and what you studied. That's all you can do. Say what you learned and what you studied. I'm surrounded by all this magic, y'all. My wife was like, I need to come in there and arrange stuff. Like, don't come in here and touch shit. This shit is the way it should be. The way it should be because it works for me. So, well, thank you guys. This has been the Chocolate Mountain host. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. How's it go? Start saying this shit. Oh yeah, I know what it is. Here we go. Something to think about. Trying to keep it real compared to what? That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep it real compared to what? This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show.